I don't know about you all, but I personally don't have enough oily, acne prone skin representation on my feed, whether that be in terms of skincare or makeup. So today I'm going to show you my entire start to finish skincare and makeup routine. Spoiler alert, it's not very interesting. I feel like in the age of the glass skin look, like Asian beauty in particular, trending very heavily lately, oily skin doesn't really have a place in that world, at least in my experience. About a year ago, out of seemingly nowhere, my skin changed, did a total 180. I used to have pretty dry skin. My acne was very under control. I grew up with acne, more than likely because I do have PCOS. I have polycystic ovarian syndrome, and that can mess with your hormones a bit. I have done 2 rounds of Accutane, and for years, probably 5-6 years, I was not breaking out at all. And then last January, all of a sudden, my skin started freaking out. I was getting cystic acne all over my chin. Nothing that I personally was doing was helping. So I finally went to an esthetician and I got on the regimen that she suggested, and overnight my breakout stopped. While I talk, I am going to ice roll my face because I do have one zit coming in on my chin right here, and icing always helps. I also did just pluck some of the dark hairs that I get on my chin because again, PCOS. I just have excess hair growth and that's okay. I was going to her for monthly facials leading up to my wedding, and these weren't your typical relaxing spa facial. It was a peel with no downtime, but they really got the job done in terms of keeping my acne at bay. Now I do that every other month. And I will admit that I have switched out some of these skincare products for more affordable options, but it's all in the same category, the same family of products, and it's working just as well for me personally. And then in terms of makeup, I really do not wear a lot of makeup to work. I'm going to show you what I do wear that's all very oily skin friendly though. And before I jump in with cleansing, I'm going to use a high frequency wand right on this zit just to kind of continue keeping it at bay. I swear to you, I bought this before it was popular, as lame as that sounds. I want to say I got this in 2020, and I'm not going to use it all over my face. I am going to turn it up to like 2. You can do 1 through 5. There's numbers on the bottom here. Make sure it's going. And then I'm just gonna zap it right on the spot. Zap it right on there. This isn't something that you're going to see an immediate result with necessarily, but I've noticed that whenever I do this on pimples that I can feel coming to the surface, they don't ever surface. They kind of just go away. If I wasn't about to do my full skincare and makeup routine, I would just do a cleanse, and then I would put one of these 2 masks on this to help it just kind of dissolve itself. So I have the Zeo Skin Health Complexion Clearing Mask, and then I have the Innisfree Pore Clearing Clay Mask with volcanic clusters. These are both clay type masks. I want to say that the Zeo Skin Health one has salicylic acid in it, and I'm not really sure, to be honest, what the active ingredient is in the one from Innisfree, but I find them to be very comparable, and this one is a much more affordable option, and you can actually get it at Sephora. This brand in general has really great skincare in Sephora, and for being in that store, it's very affordable. I do double cleanse in the mornings. Possibly unpopular. I will first go in with the Zeo Skin Health Dual Action Scrub. This is one of the products that was recommended to me that I cannot seem to dupe anywhere else. It is on the pricier side. This whole line is, but it's just so effective. Has anyone else noticed that physical exfoliants are kind of coming back into the trend? For a while there, we really were demonizing physical exfoliants as millennials, I think because so many of us used the St. Ives scrub when we were kids, and it was just kind of ruining our skin. I wouldn't necessarily say that the dual action scrub is like super gentle, but it's definitely a much more like fine exfoliant, if you can see that. I would consider this to be a much finer grain exfoliant than the St. Ives scrub for sure. So I'll just like really work this in, especially on my nose where I have a lot of blackheads and sebaceous filaments. Same with my chin, I tend to get blackheads here, and then up on my cheeks as well. So I rinse that off pretty well, and then I'm going in with the La Roche-Posay Effaclar Medicated Gel Cleanser. This is a salicylic acid cleanser. I was using the comparable version of that from Zeo Skin Health for a while, but I find this to be the exact same thing. Gave that a good rinse. Now just drying off with a Clean Skin Club towel. You don't need this brand necessarily. I know that there are other brands out there. Unfortunately, I do find that it makes a difference to dry my face with a clean towel every single time. Okay, I'm warning you now. I don't think the rest of this routine is for the faint of heart because it's a lot of actives, I have to say. So I'm going to use one of the Pacifica Glow Baby Brightening Peel Pads. This has AHA and BHA. It's 10%. Zeo Skin Health does have their version of this. I think it's called the Complexion Renewal Pads that are very similar. I want to say they are a bit more harsh than the Pacifica one, but using a toner pad, supposedly, according to my esthetician, is something to it's like a pH balancing step to prep your skin to absorb your serums, if that makes sense. Next, I go in with two different toners. So first, I will use the La Roche-Posay Effaclar Clarifying Solution. This has 0.5% salicylic acid and 2% glycolic acid. So I will just take some of this on my hand and pat it around my face. The one I was using from Zeo Skin Health was a bit of a different texture. It was thicker, and it was called, I think, the Exfoliation Accelerator, maybe? That, for me, was a little harsh. And I was finding that it was like drying out my skin pretty badly around my mouth after a while. At first it was great, so I started incorporating a moisturizing toner as well, in addition to dropping down to something a little bit less harsh. So right now this is almost empty, but I really like it. I'm using the Face Reality Moisture Balance Toner for dehydrated skin. I didn't just buy this on my own accord. I actually saw a Face Reality specialist as well, like midway through the year last year, because I was starting to get some of that drying around my mouth from the Zeo Skin regimen. And I just wanted to get like a second opinion basically on what was missing from my skin. So she just suggested incorporating something to balance the moisture in my skin, and I have found that that really, really makes a difference. If I am feeling particularly dry, which I am not often, I will next layer on the Snail Mucin from Cosar X. I'm not going to do that today because I think just like where I'm at in my cycle, I'm feeling more oily. So I am going to go in with just a drop or two of the niacinamide serum from The Ordinary. I know that this one can be a bit much for some people, but I really just spot treat with this. So I'm using like, that was maybe a third of a like dropper's worth, and I'm just going to pat this in the areas where I'm feeling very oily, which is my cheeks and my chin. Niacinamide is so interesting because I don't feel like it plays very well with others in terms of layering your skincare or doing makeup. So I kind of just like work this in a little carefully to make sure I allow it time to really dry. That way it doesn't pill. So I'm going to let this dry for a minute or two and then keep going with the rest of my routine. All right, on top of that, I'm going to go in with the Dew Air Angel. Oh my goodness, I did not want to love this as much as I do. So for a long time, I actually was not using moisturizer. My esthetician, and by the way, like if it isn't clear, the esthetician I go to, they're very much like Zeo Skin Health people, and I love it. Like, it worked for me for a long time. It got rid of my acne completely, but they don't believe in everyone using moisturizer, which was new to me. But I have to admit, for a long time, I could not find a moisturizer that didn't break me out. And by the way, I am going to put a thicker cream on my neck just because I get pretty bad necklines, and when my skin is dry, they're really pronounced. So I just use like whatever thick cream I have on hand. Right now, I'm going through a little tiny baby jar of the Kiehl's Ultra Facial Cream. I really like it. It's just a nice, simple, thicker moisturizer. But anyway, I was not able to find a moisturizer that didn't break me out, but I also knew that my skin was getting pretty dry. So another one that I do like is the Face Reality Clear Derma. This is a moisturizer for acne-prone skin. My ZO esthetician did give me the ZO hydrating cream. I like this for spot treating really dry patches. I want to say this one was formulated to be like eczema friendly too, so it's great for sensitive skin. Skincare is done. I always think I'm missing a step. I don't know why. If I am not feeling like I want or need a good amount of coverage, I will go in with the Elta MD UV Clear tinted formula. Obviously, this is very well used. The thing I don't like about these bottles is I have no idea when I'm going to run out of this. I could run out of this today. I could run out of this in a month. I don't know. I've actually had this since August and I have not yet run out of it. But anyway, this like neutralizes redness, so it doesn't quite provide coverage, even though it looks scary when it pumps out. I'll show you. It just kind of like melts into the skin and neutralizes any redness you might have. So if I don't feel like using a lot of coverage, this is what I'll use on its own. So regardless, this is probably going to be my base. If I want a little more coverage, I'll go in with the Summer Fridays Sheer Skin Tint. This is a super like watery sheer skin tint. It lives up to the name for sure. I think it's a gorgeous formula. It's like velvet on the skin, and I find it to be oily skin friendly. But if I want like true coverage, I will use either of these Neutrogena products. So I have the Neutrogena Skin Clearing Oil-Free Makeup. This is formulated with salicylic acid. Then I also have the Matte CC Cream with niacinamide. This one, I think I really like it, but it's not quite my color. It is a little yellow. It's a little warm. I have like truly neutral undertones, and this is just not quite my color. So I think at some point I'm going to experiment with mixing this in with a moisturizer to see if I can get away with the shade. Anyway, so I'm going to apply a little bit of this Elta MD here. I actually think I might be running out of this with the way that just squirted out. Oh, it actually says on the bottle here, it has niacinamide in it. It calms and protects acne-prone skin, and it's formulated for skin types prone to acne, rosacea, and hyperpigmentation. I love this stuff. Now, I have put on a very small amount here. I'm not going outside today. Listen, if you are going to be outside or if you live somewhere with like a high UV index, definitely go in with a separate SPF or put on more than I'm putting on right now. But I'm not really leaving the house today. It just blends in so nicely and so quickly. I love it. To make everything else really stick, I'm going to use the e.l.f. Power Grip Primer. I've heard that this is really similar to the Milk Makeup Hydro Grip, I think is what it's called. I adore this stuff. I have seen online makeup artists say that oily skin needs a really grippy primer. You can also use one that's like more pore filling, like that really famous Benefit one. I think it's called Porefessional. But I find that using just a grippy one is enough for me. Once that starts to get a little bit tackier on the skin, I think I'm just going to go in with a Neutrogena. Truly the only reason I don't like carrying this one around as much, like in my gym bag, which, by the way, I would say 90% of the time I am getting ready for work in a locker room because I like to work out in the mornings. But it doesn't have a pump. Like you just have to dump it out onto your finger and hope for the best. I generally am a proponent of using fingers to blend out foundation. I'm going to see how this goes because it is thicker than a skin tint for sure. Oh, and by the way, I skip concealer. I'm a little bit lazy. This color match is just honestly pretty solid. I'm going to work it in a little bit more. I need to wash this brush. I haven't used it in a long time. It's just been sitting underneath my vanity. There. I feel like that is just enough coverage for me to like even me out, but not be self-conscious throughout the day that people are looking at my makeup, if that makes sense. I actually have a new blush to use today. I am so excited. So in the past, I would use, where is it? The Merit Flush Bomb. You've probably seen this before. It's like this little domed blush. I love it. I love the color. But I did see a makeup artist on TikTok suggest blushes for oily skin. And she specifically said, it was Melissa Murdoch, who's Selena Gomez's makeup artist. She specifically said that that formulas like the Merit Flush Bomb are too like slippy for oily skin. So she suggested a few. One of them was from, I guess you would pronounce it Liss Beauty. It's in these cute little triangle compacts, which by the way, it has a magnet closure, which I appreciate, and it has a little mirror. So this is called their Higher Standard Satin Matte Cream Blush, and it's formulated with some kind of clay in it. So it's good for oily skin. This is a bright, bright, bright color. I'm a little nervous. I'm going to take one single pat, maybe 2 or 3. I'm kind of nervous. And apply. Okay, I could use a little bit more. Let me pat some in. I think I might need to like warm up the surface because it's brand new. Okay, definitely have a good amount on my brush. Oh yeah. Okay. I'm going to work some off of the brush because it deposited a lot. Anyway. Oh yeah, this is such a different finish from the Merit one. I can already tell it like almost looks a little more like a powder blush. I don't know if this is the color for me. It's so bright in the pan, but I knew I could like work it, like blend it out into like just a softer pink. But maybe I need the more kind of orangey shade. I don't know. Oh, I'm really liking this formula already though. Okay, this is pretty. I like this formula a lot. Honestly, I just really like blush because I feel like once I go in with some kind of like sheer base product that just like evens me out, I do need to bring a little bit of life back into my skin. And sometimes, like depending on the day I'm having, I will take just a fluffy eyeshadow brush and take whatever I put on my cheeks. Just kind of like do, oh my gosh, that picked up a lot. Just do like a bit of a wash on the eyelid. Oh wait, that's, oh my gosh. Yeah, if I feel like I need a little something extra, I will just pop a little bit on my eyelid. Curl my lashes and introduce you to the only mascara you will ever need. So I am like a crier. I'm an emotional girl. I cry at everything. I cry 100 times a day. Happy tears, sad tears, whatever. Once I discovered tubing mascara, I never looked back. I want to say I started using this one. It's the Cali Ray Come Hell or High Water tubing mascara. I started using this back in maybe 2020. Nothing compares. First of all, it does give you good volume and length. I'll show you side by side in a second. But this does not budge throughout the day. And then to take it off at night, all you need is warm water and it just wipes right off of your lashes. It's a genius formula. I know that this is not the only tubing mascara out there, and maybe there are even better ones, but if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Here's a side-by-side. Hopefully you can see this okay, but it just gives gorgeous length, gorgeous volume. I love it so much. And they also make it in little travel sizes, so this bigger one I keep at home, and I keep a travel size in my like gym bag. All right, almost done. Brows, I do have like pretty dark fluffy brows that get unruly pretty fast, so I stick with brow gels. That's the only product I use. I'm going to use the Merit volumizing pomade. Typically I would use this one closer to like right after I get my brows threaded, because that's when they are at their like thinnest and shortest in terms of the hairs, and they can handle a good amount of product. I mean, they can always handle a lot of product, but when they're more unruly like this, like I think it's been 5 weeks since I've gotten them threaded, and I'm going this week, I will typically use something that is like a bit of a stronger hold but less pigment, because I mean, I have dark brows. I don't need more volume or more color on them at the moment. So the one I like to use more on an everyday basis is the Glossier Boy Brow, but I'm out of it. But this one is still very, very good. I like it a lot. So I go in with a pretty small amount of product and then comb it through really well with the spoolie. Oh my gosh, I can't wait to get my brows done. So we moved to Delaware like a year and a half ago. I still drive to Philadelphia to get my brows done by the same person. I can't trust my brows with many people. I really can't. For lips, I keep it so simple. First of all, I put SPF on my lips. I love the Jack Black Intense Therapy Lip Balm. It has an SPF 25. The thing I like about this is that you cannot taste the SPF. I hate when you put a lip product on with SPF in it and it tastes like sunscreen. I know you know what I'm talking about. So I'll just put some of this on, and then, I don't know, usually just like a lip gloss. What do I have around right now? I have this Revlon Super Lustrous. It's like the Shine lipsticks. I think like went a little bit viral last year. I have this in Glaring Coral. I don't know if this is quite the right color for me, especially with this pink blush, but I'm just going to put like the tiniest bit on so that I bring, again, just like some life and color back into my lips. And that, my friends, is my whole oily skin, acne prone, friendly routine. Let me show you in natural light. Hold on. And this is what it looks like in sunlight. It's overcast right now. By the way, yes, I need to get my eyebrows done so badly. I cannot wait. Yeah, it's like not too much. I feel like it's the perfect amount for every day, going to the office, being under those horrible fluorescent lights. And it's quick, and it's simple, and it's relatively affordable. Thanks for watching.